know that the grayscale investment trusts are the most valuable part of that company right now. And they are they're cash cows. They're revenue generating. We do not think, we think they're going to try and hold on to that, if nothing else. We're looking at a 41% discount of this trust relative to Bitcoin today. And so we actually think there's a lot of upside. Now, one of the things that we know that Grayscale and Michael Sonnenschein at Grayscale wanted was to convert this trust into an ETF.
Right.
I think what's happened with the fallout here might increase the probability that a Bitcoin ETF will be approved. I'm not saying immediately, but we know that, and even the newest SEC commissioner, Jaime Lizarraga, I think is his name, has come out and said, we need as regulators to focus on decentralization and transparency. What is the most decentralized and transparent crypto asset in the world? It is Bitcoin. And yet retail investors do not have easy access through a liquid asset like an ETF, which honestly, I don't understand, given that they approved a Bitcoin futures fund. So, I think it might increase the odds. We shall see. The fact that so many people were completely fooled is quite shocking. I think he had this aura around him or something that caused people to ask fewer questions than might otherwise have been the case. It's very hard to understand. We always look for the whale in a situation like this, and if there was a whale out there, it was FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, king of the hill. So I think we found the whale. And I'm sure there's going to be more fallout, but we see how big the whale is. And yes, a lot of people have lost a lot of money around the crypto asset ecosystem losing value here. But if we're right on the underlying technology and the underlying roles that Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to play in this new world, then I think we're going to recover pretty quickly. You need to battle test. You need to go through crises to see who the real to see the survivors, first of all, but really to battle test the infrastructure and the thesis. And again, we think Bitcoin is coming out of this smelling like a rose because of what I have mentioned previously. And I do think the one thing that will be delayed is perhaps institutions stepping back and just saying, okay, do we really understand this? And once they actually do the homework and see what's happened here, I think they might be more comfortable moving into Bitcoin and perhaps Ether as a first stop, because they'll understand it more. Think about the amount of data that Twitter has, and it's proprietary data, and think about the combination of that and artificial intelligence. Remember, he has AI expertise and experts. I know he brought in some of his engineers, and they are going to, I think, surprise and delight, heading for a super app kind of product. And, by our estimates, and you'll find this in our big ideas, I think it was 2021, the value of each customer in a digital wallet should be, and when I say that, the market cap associated should be in the 20,000 plus range, because it's not just for financial services. It'll ultimately be for commerce, and AI is the glue that's going to pull this all together. And the data that they have, the data is the new oil. You've heard that. This is absolutely true in the case of Twitter. We speak from experience. This is an extremely productive social network for us. It is our most productive. And, it truly is the global public town square. I can write an open letter to the Fed and put it out over Twitter. Now, do I think the Fed's going to listen to me? No, I don't. But that they may listen, the Fed board members may listen to someone who might think that I have something to say, which is simply a question. Wait a minute. How can you be unanimous 75 basis points at a time? How can you be unanimous when there is so much conflicting data out there, including an inverted yield curve now at 75 basis points? That's crazy. I think we're going to look back in history and say, what were they thinking? Unanimous? Commodity prices are falling. You've got excess inventories all over the place. We're seeing massive discounting. I think we're going to see deflation, and then they'll make a move in the opposite direction. But we need a steadier hand than that. So I do think that this is not just an advertising vehicle. In fact, that probably might diminish quite significantly in terms of its importance longer run. You'll remember that Elon started his entrepreneurial pursuits with a precursor to PayPal. So he a very long time ago had this idea of a digital wallet, a super app like WhatsApp in mind. And of course took a big detour into another passion of his. We know he knows a lot about this world. And I think if anyone in the US can do this, I think he can. I think he'll surround himself by the right business leaders. He's not going to do this himself. If you look at Tesla, he's not, if you look at many people say, aren't you worried about Tesla? No, we're not, because of our work on electric vehicles. They are grabbing a disproportionate share, and will continue to do so, of a market that we think by 2027 will account for 85 to 95% of all cars sold in the world. So that's on automatic pilot. He's now working on autonomous, which we think is going to work. We owned Twitter for quite a while, and we sold it into the rumors that Elon was going to buy it because we knew there would be a lot of controversy around that. So it moved into the 60s. I think it got to 70, and we sold there, and have been watching from the sidelines. But if you look at that model longer run, it has not delivered on the promise. And I think opening up the algorithms, which we think he will do, and taking away the kind of human-driven censorship and allowing the transparency of the algorithms that they do put out there, allowing people to question them, I think is going to be very healthy. If you look at the daily average users, I think the various metrics that you can count daily, they have been going up dramatically. So, I know a lot of people who basically decided to quit Twitter because they didn't like the kind of censorship and so forth that was going on. So I actually like what he's doing. Well, AllianceBernstein, I believe, got the first fully active, fully transparent ETF in, I think it was it was approved in early 2013. So that's when I put my hand up and said, I'll do that. And there was a belief that ETFs were not safe, or there were a lot of arguments against it.
Right.
Probably the biggest one was mutual funds, which are much more profitable. I would say the economics there are higher than ETFs. How does it make me feel? The more the merrier. I think this is a fantastic wrapper for the end consumer. It's fully liquid, unlike mutual funds. You have to wait till the end of the day. Transparent, fully transparent. That's what investors want. It is more tax effective, much more tax effective. We're seeing mutual funds that are down 30% this year,
right,
but they're slapping their investors with 35% in capital tax gains. And then finally, it's more cost effective because all of what you see is what you get with these fees. There aren't a bunch of hidden fees. So it's a great wrapper for the end consumer. I highly recommend it. And we're happy that they are seeing the light now. If you look at the blockchains, let's use the Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum, what you'll find is they have the infrastructure, the technology has not skipped a beat throughout this entire crisis. In fact, the hash rate, Bitcoin's hash rate is at an all-time high. And that is a real indication of the security of the network. On Ethereum, we're seeing the total value staked at 24 billion. That is an all-time high. So we think the infrastructure is working beautifully. As far as Coinbase, this is an onshore regulated company and wanting to help shape regulations. Brian Armstrong, the CEO, and Alicia, CFO, have been leaning into what's going on right now and saying, okay, regulators, we need more clarity in order to protect investors. Those who wanted to get involved with certain types of crypto were forced offshore, and look at what's happened. So I think that Coinbase is going to come out here looking very, very strong. It just lost a very big competitor in FTX.
Do you agree that price doesn't matter in the short term? Leave a comment if you found the content interesting. Click in like button. It really helps the channel find viewers similar to you. If you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed to it, click in subscribe button. We post content daily to keep you up to date on the current market and news. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.